How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's stick mobility class. I am Coach Ray, and as usual, thank you for joining me for today. So for today's class, we are going to need one long and one short stick. You'll also notice I have a kettlebell here. This kettlebell only weighs 10 kilos. It's what I'm actually going to be using for the example of a curl that we're going to get into today. We are working on those arm lines, so things that we are going to be doing, at least specifically today, are going to be bicep and tricep involved. However, we're going to utilize grip to intensify the tension up that arm line. I also have a band hooked up to a wall. If you have something secure to hook the band into, you do want to make sure that you have it anchored into something that's not going to move or that's not going to release the band. All right, I want to go for safety here always. So let's go ahead and get into the warm-up. I do want to start with warming up the shoulders and getting everything in the thoracic spine opened up here. The first thing we are going to start off with is going to be kayaking. So I have the short stick here with me, and I'm going to take a wide stance, not too wide. I'm going to go roughly about shoulder width here. Toes are going to be pointed forward. From here, I'm going to have my right hand up, and I'm going to drive that right hand through. We don't want to get any rotation in the spine. We want all that movement to be in the shoulder blades here. You want to breathe. Excellent. Speed should match mine. Good. Fingertips on the end of the sticks here. Now we're going to go backwards. Good. Drive that hand through. We're going to keep going backwards here for a little bit longer. Now, when we switch directions, we are going to start to add in rotation of the spine here. Right, so I'm going to switch directions. So now I'm going to go forward, right hand comes through. See, now as my right hand comes through, I'm going to rotate to my left. As the left hand comes through, I'm going to rotate to my right. So now we're segmenting the spine into the movement here. Good, make sure you breathe. Excellent. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent, good. Shoulders are gonna be feeling pretty good here. We're now gonna move on to doing some dislocates. We're not gonna go all the way back. We just wanna create tension in the shoulders. And again, we're gonna keep utilizing grip tension in order to create more activation going up that arm line. I'm gonna take a wide grip. The grip should be outside of shoulder width, not too wide, because we want to create a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to have my feet pointed forward. I'm going to get into a horse stance here. So I'm making sure that I'm bending my knees, keeping a nice, good, tall posture, rib cage down and controlled. I want to keep both arms straight. I'm going to pull the stick apart about 20% tension here, keeping my chin down and back. And I'm going to bring the stick up overhead. Nice and slow. Once I get to the end range, hold, increase the grip. So I want you to grip up to 40%, bring it back down, so pulling apart. Now compress the stick once it gets to eye level. Excellent. Pull the stick apart, 20%. Keep 40% of grip on a stick, hold overhead, increase that grip to 60. Bring it back down, compress. Excellent. Ease off that grip back to 40%. Pull the stick apart. Bring it up overhead. Nice and slow. Keep control of that rib cage. Excellent. Increase grip to 60%. Bring it back down. Compress. Breathe. Excellent. Release the grip to 40%, pull apart, bring it up overhead. Excellent, increase grip, back down, compress, and ease off. Excellent. And now we're going to get into pendulums. So for this, what we want to make sure we're focusing on is, for one, we're keeping the shoulders working within the range we have available to us, but also you want to try to keep the both arms straight as we go through this. We don't want the elbows to bend here. So going with the short stick here, my fingertips on the grip ends of the stick. Now if you have a long stick, you can grip with your thumbs facing away from one another. So almost like a reverse grip. Now from here, we're gonna get back into a horse stance here. I'm gonna go wider than shoulder width, toes are pointed forward, squat down, squeeze those glutes. I'm gonna push my left arm going towards my center line, and that right arm's gonna come up overhead. Excellent. Come back down. I'm gonna push that right arm towards my center line. Left arm comes up overhead. Gonna get a stretch in the top of that shoulder. Gonna feel that rib cage start to open up. Good. Switch the other side. Excellent. Up. Good. Make sure you're breathing here. You're not holding your breath. Let's go one more time each way. Excellent. Other side. Back to center. And relax. Excellent. Good. And we're going to take the long stick now. The short stick goes down. And what I want to do here is I want to focus on thoracic mobility. First thing we're going to start off with is an extension drill. Now from here, I'm going to start with both feet a little wider than shoulder width. Toes are going to be pointed forward. I'm going to have both hands at roughly about chin to upper chest level. I'm going to have both hands, one hand stacked over the other, so my right hand stacked over my left at this point. What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to drive my arms out straight, drive my hips back. So I'm going to push my hips back, reaching my arms out, all the way down here. Excellent. So I'm going to rotate the stick to my left, and I want to keep my hips facing towards the floor. Make sure your head clears your shoulders. Come back to center, and then come up. Excellent. Let's go two more in that same direction. Hinge back, reach out with the hands, rotate the stick to the right. Keep those hips facing towards the floor. Back to center. Come up and out. Excellent. Let's go again. Hips back. Clear the head, rotate to the right. Breathe. Come back to center and come up. Excellent. We're going to switch sides. We're going to switch how we stack our hands. So hands are still at the same height here. Toes are forward. We're still going with that horse stance. Squat down a bit, a little. So now we're going to drive those hips back. Excellent. Rotate the stick to the left. Make sure you clear the head. Hips pointed towards the floor. Come back to center. Come up. Excellent. We got two more. Drive those hips back. Arms out. Rotate to the left. Breathe. Back to center. Come up. Let's go one more time here, folks. Hips back. Reach out. Rotate to the left. Breathe. Back forward. Come up. And ease off. And now we're going to get into a little bit of a flow. So this flow here is going to be us going back and forth from a bow and arrow into a monkey hang. As we go through this flow, we want to slowly step back in to make sure we are moving accordingly. Also, the hand is going to be moving up and down. So if I have my left foot forward, right foot back, right hand's going to start up top. As we come up into that bow and arrow, we're going to slide our right hand down, left hand comes up and over. So what we're doing is we're using this as a way to kind of flow in and out of stretching the lateral lines here. And we're going to start with both feet together. I'm gonna have the stick in line with both feet, or the middle of my foot here. Right hand's up top on the stick. I'm gonna pick my right foot up and I'm going to step back, creating a big split, and I wanna hang into it. I'm just gonna hold this here, really open up the hip, get into the anterior part of the hip, get into the rib cage a bit. I'm gonna step up, bring my feet to hip width, slide the right hand down to hip level, left hand comes up over the top, thumb facing down, and I'm going to drive both hands out. Make sure you breathe. I'm gonna bring the stick back in, and I'm gonna slide my right hand up, take my left hand off, step back and go back into that same position again. Good, back up, hip width, slide that right hand down, left hand up over the top, thumb facing down. Drive those hands out, hips away from the stick. Back in, right hand up top again. Rotate to your left. Back up, feet in, slide that hand down. Breathe, excellent. Let's go one more time here, folks. Slide that hand back. Rotate to your left, reach into 6, back forward, step up, right hand down, left hand over the top, extend those hands out, drive those hips away from the stick. Breathe, slowly ease off, and now we switch sides. So I'll actually show this from the side here. So feet are together, bottom of the stick is in line with midfoot here. Left hand's up, I'm gonna pick that left foot up, I'm gonna step back, sink into it, open up those anterior tissues, we're also getting those lateral tissues as well. Excellent, step back up, feet at roughly hip width, left hand down, right hand up over the top, drive the hips away, extend those hands out. Excellent, back in, left foot goes back. Squeeze that left glute, keep it nice and tight, get a nice good hang. Step back up, slide that left hand down, right hand up over the top, grab the hips away. Excellent, back in. Right, this is where we rotate, so step that left foot back, get a hang, rotate towards 6 o'clock, right hand reaches back, back forward, step back in, left hand down, drive the hips away, extend those hands out. Excellent. One more time here, folks. Step back with the left, drive that hip down towards the bottom of the stick, reach to 6, back forward, step in, left hand down, right hand up over the top, extend those hands out. Excellent, ease off and relax. Take a second. Now that's where we're getting to the fun stuff. So we're gonna get into our strength training phase. So this is where we actually do some arm work, right? So if you want a good little bicep and tricep pump, this is the right one. Now again, I'm gonna come back to my kettlebell and I'm actually gonna exchange the taller stick for the shorter stick. We're gonna use the stick as a way to create full body tension and keep us from shifting and tilting one way or the other. And we're actually gonna do these two exercises in a superset fashion. So we're gonna go from one to the other. And we're gonna do three sets of this. Now, the first exercise is gonna be an overhead tricep extension. Again, we're using the stick as a way to create tension, keep our body in proper alignment. This band is not super tough here. If you have a thicker band, if you want to use it for a little bit more tension, you can. Now, I'm gonna grip with my pinky facing this direction here. My thumb's facing behind me. I'm gonna wrap my hand in on the inside of the band here so that it is secure. I'm gonna step forward a bit. Now, I do wanna make sure that I do wanna keep my elbow up high. This ensures that I'm actually getting a stretch in that tricep here. And then when I go to extend, I'm getting a really, really solid contraction. Where the stick comes in, and by the way, we are gonna have our feet at roughly about shoulder width. We're gonna drive that stick down about 50%, hold that tension. Wanna keep this elbow in and extend up overhead. That's one, back down, extend, it's two, keep the elbow up high, extend, three, extend, four, down slow, extend, five, extend, six, extend, seven, extend, eight, extend, nine, one more, and extend, 10. Excellent. Ease off, take a second. We're now switching to the other side. This is where we grab the kettlebell. Now from here, we are going to make sure we pick up the kettlebell safely as usual. So I'm gonna bend down, grab the kettlebell, and I'm gonna stand with my feet, roughly about hip width apart, toes are forward. So bottom of the stick is in line with mid-foot here, or my mid-toe, driving the stick down. Notice that my palm is facing away or towards my anterior portion of my body, and I wanna keep it that way. I'm going to curl the kettlebell up and then go down slowly. That's one, curl up, two, it is going to slide in your hand and that's okay. Up, three, drive the stick down 50%, up, four, up, five, up, six, up, seven, up, eight, up, nine, last one, up, 10. Excellent. We're going to place the kettlebell down. Now we're going to switch over to the other side. We're going to do that same thing. Elbow needs to stay in. I want the elbow in. We don't want it drifting out here. I want to keep it in nice and tight here. Feet are roughly about shoulder width. Bottom of the stick is angled in towards us. Drive the stick down 50%. Extend overhead. One, two, keep it nice and controlled. Three, four, make sure you got an intensive grip on the stick here. Five, six, seven, eight, nine, one more time, 10. Excellent. Place that down. Pick up the kettlebell. Same grip. Drive that stick down 50%. Make sure you're gripping the stick. Kettlebell up. It's one. You want to get a nice, good, strong curl in. Up. Two. Keep it nice and controlled. Up. Three. Up. Four. Up. Five. Up. Six. Up. Seven. Up. Eight. Up. Nine. Another one. Up. 10. Excellent. Place it down. Take a second, shake your arms out. Now we're going to switch back over to the other side. Now, the good thing about this is, again, if you're kind of limited, right, on what moves you can do, if this is too much, let's say it's not comfortable in the elbow or the shoulder maybe, you can hook it up to something that's taller and pull straight down, as opposed to coming with an overhead position. So change the angle of your shoulder. Bring it back forward here. We're gonna do that same thing. Keep that elbow in nice and tight. Drive the stick down 50%. Make sure you're gripping that stick 50%. extend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more time, 10. Excellent. Now we're going to go to the curl again. Set in that same position, palm up, drive the stick down 50%, curl. 1, make sure you're gripping that kettlebell. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Set the kettlebell down. We're going to switch back to the other side. You can also use a dumbbell for this. You don't have to use a kettlebell, but I do believe that kettlebells are pretty widely available to almost everybody. Also, you can substitute the kettlebell for a band. All right? You don't just have to use a kettlebell or a dumbbell. From here, same thing. Arm is straight, drive the stick down, elbow in, extend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Pick up the kettlebell. Same thing. Drive the stick down 50%. Make sure you're gripping that stick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more time. 10. Excellent. Take a second, shake your arms out. You should probably notice the cool thing about kettlebells is it actually makes it harder to curl. Makes it a little bit harder because you do have to grip a little bit more. Now, one more time here. Doing excellent, folks, doing excellent. Sticks in the middle, elbows in, drive that stick down 50%, grip the stick, extend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more time. 10. Excellent. Doing good. Here's a little secret. If you actually want to make this exercise more challenging, so especially if you have a lighter kettlebell, when you curl, you can actually try to keep the kettlebell in a straight line, right? Instead of the weight falling to the back of the wrist, try to curl it with the weight sticking straight out. It makes it significantly harder. Drive the stick down, curl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more time. 10. Excellent. Let's get to the other side one last time, folks. Doing good. Doing good. Get set in position. Stick single in. Drive the stick down. Extend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more time, 10. Excellent, good. Arm straight, drive the stick down. Up. 1, curl, 2, there you go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more time, 10. Excellent, good. Shake your arms out for a second. Now we're gonna get into utilizing the stick to work on, again, grip, specifically wrist strength, working with rotation. As we do this here, you're not gonna notice, for some, it might be easier to externally rotate versus internally rotate. Now, we do want to make sure that we are keeping full body tension still, so we are going to be in an actual horse stance here. So wider than shoulder width, we're going to load those legs. So squat down a bit here. Start off with it easier by having your hand a little bit closer to the center of the stick. Again, this is the 5-foot stick here. I'm going to start here, elbows bent at 90 degrees. I want to keep it that way. What I'm going to do under control, I'm going to grip the stick with all 5 fingers. I'm going to go about 50 to 60%. And I'm going to slowly, under control, get external rotation of the wrist, keeping my elbow in. And now I'm going to come back up and over. You're going to get that bicep working pretty hard here. Now I'm going to come over the opposite side now. So now I'm going to internally rotate, come as far as I can. If you can get even good, if you get it even more down towards the floor, it's even better. Then come up. Excellent. Externally rotate here. Good, back up. Internally rotate, make sure you're gripping that stick the entire time. Again, elbows not flaring out. Come back up, externally rotate, keep it under control, control that eccentric. Excellent, back up, then internal, so breathe. Excellent, back up to center, and ease off. So forearm's gonna be working, biceps actually gonna be working quite a bit, your shoulder's gonna be working. We have a few different things that are involved with controlling this motion here. So from here, same thing, elbows bent at 90 degrees. I'm gonna start with external, so I'm gonna rotate out, and you're gonna notice one side has better mobility or control than the other. Make sure you're gripping that stick about 50 to 60%. Now we're gonna go internal. Up. Good, external. Back up. Internal. There we go. All 5 fingers on the stick. External. Internal. Breathe. Back to center. And relax. Take a second. Now we're going to add isometric tension here. We're going to use his other arm to keep it in place, or his other hand to keep it in place. As we do that, we're going to create tension. So again, we're not using the shoulder here. We want to keep that elbow exactly where it should be, which is right by our side here, right by our rib cage, not pinned in, but right next to it. Now I'm going to have my right elbow in. I'm starting from an internal rotated position. I'm going to create external rotation tension. Squat back down into that nice good horse stance. Place my left hand on top. Keep that right elbow exactly where it's at. and create tension. So I'm trying to externally rotate here. Make sure you're gripping that stick, 50%. Hold, 3, 2, 1, and excellent. Ease off. Gonna come back up. So I'm gonna come up to center. Now I'm gonna go external rotation. I'm gonna place my left hand under this end of the stick here. Same thing. Now I'm gonna try to internally rotate my forearm. And again, we're keeping that elbow in. Grip that stick 50%, all 5 fingers on the stick. 3, 2, 1, excellent, ease off. Back to center and relax. Now we're gonna switch sides. Right hand on top here, squat down, create tension and go. Make sure you're gripping that stick. Breathe. Keep control of that left elbow and left arm. 3, 2, 1, excellent. To center. Now we're gonna go the opposite way. So here. Now we're gonna create tension opposite way and go. Hold. 3, 2, 1, excellent. Ease off. Bring it back to center and relax. Excellent, good. Those are a few different drills that you can do, especially if you're trying to improve elbow health, how your elbows are feeling, particularly if you're doing curls, or any kind of extension. Those are ways to kind of really work on that. Oftentimes we miss that lower arm strength here, and that's a really, really good way to build some isometric strength. It'll carry over into your other legs. We now get into the cool down. So we're gonna get into the stretch here. We are going to start off with slap shot, and I want to use some slap shot flow here, going side to side. By the flow, what I mean is we're going to actually turn that hip going into it, and I'll actually show you what I mean. I'm going to have the stick behind my mid back, take a relatively wide stance. As usual, this is a suggestion of whatever's most comfortable for you, and it's going to depend on your own mobility. I'm going to have a slight toe out angle, six on my mid back here. I'm going to have a slight bend to my knees, and I'm going to drive my hips back. Going to get a stretch in those hamstrings here. Hold here, just breathe. Get a nice good stretch. Excellent. Now I'm going to rotate the left end of the stick down to my center line. Pull the stick apart. I'm going to lunge to my left, so I'm going to drive off that right foot here. Still pulling that stick apart. Now I'm going to lunge to my right. As I do that, I'm going to pivot that left foot, squeeze that left glute, and I'm kind of leaning back here. Come back to center, lunge to the left, driving off that right foot, pivot that left foot, squeeze that left glute, lean back. Excellent. Back to center. Now we're going to rotate the right end down. Going to adjust my feet, sorry. Place the bottom of the stick down, pull apart, lunge to the right, drive off that left foot. Make sure you're breathing here. Excellent. Lunge to the left, pivot that back foot, squeeze that glute. Really feel the front of that hip opening up. Back to center, lunge to the right. Excellent, lunge to the left, pivot that right foot, squeeze that right glute. Excellent, back to center. Ease off, stand up, Wiggle those feet in, nice and slow. Now we're gonna get into actually stretching out the biceps. This works better if you have something anchored the bottom of the stick in, but you can still do it without anchoring the bottom of the stick into anything. I'm gonna have both feet roughly about hip to shoulder width apart. Toes are pointed forward here. The bottom of the stick is about an inch or two in front of the line of my right foot here. Sticks in my right hand. Notice I'm gripping the stick. I'm internally rotated on my right shoulder here. And I want to grip roughly about maybe rib cage height to start off with. We are going to go into a shoulder extended position, but we're going to get a stretch in that bicep and that anterior deltoid. So stick starts in front here. I'm going to lightly push the stick down about 15%, really light. And then I'm going to bring the stick behind, getting into a shoulder extended position. You want to make sure you keep that elbow straight here. Now from this position, we can actually kind of tension into a stretch. So I'm going to rotate my head away from the stick. So I'm going to rotate to the left, and then I'm going to tilt my head back. So we get a stretch in that shoulder, beneath the pec, that right bicep. Tilt the head back down, rotate forward, bring the stick back forward, and ease off. We're going to do that again. This time we're going to move the hand up a little bit higher, so we'll get even more of a stretch. Move the hand up a little higher, keep the shoulder down, drive the stick down lightly, bring the stick behind. Good, you're going to get a bigger stretch in that bicep here. Keep the right shoulder down. We're going to rotate our head to the left, tilt the head back, breathe. Tilt the head back down, rotate forward, bring the stick back forward, and ease off. Let's go on and switch sides. I'm actually going to turn to the side here so you guys see what that looks like. Sticks here, left hand, thumb facing down towards the floor. Drive that hand or drive the stick down into the floor about 15%. Bring that arm back. All right, so we're getting shoulder extension here. Going to rotate our head to the right, tilt the head back, breathe, tilt the head back down, rotate your head forward, bring that arm back around, nice and controlled, and ease off. We're going to do that same thing. We're going to bring that hand up a little higher, thumb facing down toward the floor still. Drive that hand down, shoulder down, work back into extension. Keep that left shoulder down. You don't want it to rotate forward. Chin back, rotate your head to the right, tilt your head back. Exit back down, rotate forward. Bring the arm back around. And ease off. Excellent. Good. I'm going to place the long stick down. We're going to pick up the short stick again. We're going to get into kayaking again. However, we're going to use it more as a way to actually stretch the shoulders and the biceps. Instead of keeping it constantly moving, we're actually more so going to focus on a very particular motion here. So almost think about going into more diagonal motion. Both hands are on the ends of the stick, fingertips are on the ends. Start with that right hand up, left hand down. Something I do want you to pay attention to is as I actually go into that shoulder extension, I'm going to internally rotate that arm, right? Internally rotate that shoulder. I'm going to start up, right hand up, and I'm going to bring that left arm into extension. I'm going to internally rotate that left shoulder. So now I get more of that bicep involved. Then I'm gonna bring it back up. We'll go back into it again, internally rotate. Breathe. Back up. Go back into extension again. Internally rotate. Excellent. Go back forward and ease off. Now we're going to go the opposite side. So left arm is up now. Go into extension, internally rotate that right shoulder. Back forward. Internally rotate. There we go, get that arm into extension. Back forward. And go back into extension again. Get that internal rotation on that shoulder. Back forward. And ease off. Excellent. We're going to finish off with one more drill. We are going to do some rotations. As we do this here, we're going to start at just getting the shoulders to move, then the hips, and then we're going to pivot. So we're going to get the entire body involved with this rotation side to side. It's going to look very similar to doing a standing plank with rotation. We're not really driving the stick down necessarily. We are using the stick as a guide. I'm going to have both hands at the top of the stick here. Again, this is 5 feet, so my hands are roughly about chest height here. I want both feet to be pointed forward, about shoulder width, maybe a slight bit wider. From here, squeeze those glutes. You just want to lock those hips into extension for now. I'm going to rotate my shoulders side to side here. Arms straight. As I rotate to the left, I want to point my right shoulder forward. As I rotate to the right, I want to pull my left shoulder forward. Breathe. I want to keep this as a little bit of a flow here. Excellent. Now I'm going to rotate my hips. So I'm going to unlock my glutes. And I'm going to rotate my hips into it. Get an internal rotation on that left hip. Back to center. Rotate to the right. Excellent. To the left. And to the right. Left. And right. Now we're going to pivot. So as I rotate to the left, I'm going to pivot my right foot, but now my left foot. Back down, rotate to the right, pivot to the left. Excellent, back forward. Good. Let's go one more each way. And ease off and relax. And that, my friends, concludes today's stick mobility class. Thank you for joining me today, everybody. We are still going to be focusing on working those arm lines. We'll be mixing some other stuff in too here and there, but I will see you guys on the next one. And